Win, baby. A philosophy that as a young coach at 4-2. Today, veteran Neil O'Donnell and playmaker Carl Pickens take on tradition on CBS. From the Network Associates Coliseum in Oakland, it's the NFL on CBS. Today, the 4-12 Raiders take on the 2-4 Cincinnati Bengals. Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Oakland. I'm Gus Johnson along with Steve Tasker. The Raiders have been turning a lot of heads here in California this season. That's because their defense, they're leading the way, Steve.
This team was 4-12 last year. This year, they're going to be much better than that just because of their defense. But this team's question marks don't center around that defense. They center around the offense. With Jeff George out of the lineup, the start goes to Donald Hollis. 2 weeks ago, before their bye week, he struggled for 3.5 quarters against the San Diego Chargers. If he struggles today, look for head coach John Gruden to quickly move to Wade Wilson. Wade Wilson was only 1 of 7 last week, but that one completion was for a 68-yard touchdown that won the football game.
In the AFC West, take a look. Oakland, they were 4-12 a season ago. Now they're 4-2, chasing Denver for the top spot. In the Central, different story for Cincinnati, 2-4, and Steve, they're coming off an embarrassing 44-14 loss to Tennessee. Bruce Kozlitz says they have to do better than that.
Well, Bruce Kozlitz was not embarrassed after that loss last week. He was angry, and he's more relaxed this week, though, because he knows in his heart that his team is going to play better today. If they're going to do that, it's going to fall on the shoulders of Neil O'Donnell and his ability to get the ball to 2 guys, Darnay Scott and Carl Pickens. Their offense for the Cincinnati Bengals is not like most offenses in the league. It centers around the passing game first, the run game second.
All right, the temperature here in Northern California, a perfect day for football, 65 degrees, no humidity, and the wind blows from right to left. The coaches on the left, John Gruden, 35 years old. He's the youngest in the NFL. And Bruce Kozlitz on the right in his second full season. He replaced David Shula. Oakland won the toss. They have elected to receive Lee Johnson. 9 touchbacks on the season. Ready to send it away. And the dangerous Desmond Howard back deep. This one 5 yards into the end zone, and Howard decides to take a knee. So onto the field, Donald Hollis in his 7th year out of Rice, was with the Bengals for 4 years. Got his first start in 6 years. 2 weeks ago against San Diego, was pulled from the game in place of Wade Wilson. But John Gruden said that he wants him to use some of his natural skills. That's moving around a bit.
Yeah, he has good mobility. He wants him to let the game come to him. He has a lot of weapons out there, and he wants him to relax and use them.
The journeyman quarterback who spent 95 and 96 out of football. And on first down, a flag.
You'll notice early on that the Raiders will do a lot of shifting offensively.
Full start, 76, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Steve Wisniewski, the left guard. And offensively for the Raiders, Mo Collins gets the start at left tackle, replacing Pat Harlow. Out with an injury, Wisniewski, Robbins, Graham, and Kennedy, and the backs and receivers. Jermaine Williams, his first start. They pulled him off the practice squad this week because of the injury to John Ritchie, their fullback, who's been having some problems with his knee. And the dangerous Tim Brown and James Jett are the receivers. First down and 15. Napoleon Kaufman running the football, slashes forward and gets to the 24-yard line. A gain of 9. And defensively for Cincinnati, they gave up 515 yards in total offense last week against Tennessee. Their linebackers very young. Simmons, Spikes, rookies. Raynard Wilson, he's only played 1 year of linebacker in his career. Ambrose Hawkins on the corner. Shade Myers are the safeties. Second down and 6. And it's Kaufman again, this time over the 25, up to the 26. Now let's go to Jim Nantz in New York.
All right, Gus, in overtime, Olindo Mare of Miami from 43 yards. He was 4 for 4 on the day. New England never touched the football in OT. Miami wins. Back to Gus and Steve.
So Jimmy Johnson and that defense playing great football, but Pete Carroll and the Patriots 2 straight losses. I'm sure they are a bit concerned in New England. Hollis passing under pressure, steps up, ball batting at the line of scrimmage. Kimo von Oelhoffen got hands on the football.
We spoke to Kimo von Oelhoffen earlier, and he thought that the 3-4 defense alignment of the Cincinnati Bengals would give them some problems early on, because the Raiders just don't see this type of defense very often. You see Donald Hollis standing tall, trying to make something keep happening, trying to complete that pass, and he would have been better off just throwing that one at the ground.
Brings on Leo Araguz, who punted 16 times against San Diego 2 weeks ago, an NFL record. Wobbly kick, Damon Gibson, the fair catch signal, loses his footing, and he is downed at the 27-yard line, a 46-yard punt. Neil O'Donnell, signed as a free agent prior to training camp, coming over from the Jets. He's brought consistency to this squad.
One of the things about the Raider defense is their cornerbacks are upgraded, but the Cincinnati offense wants to test those guys early. They're going to try and go deep very early, and you might even see it here on the first play.
O'Donnell, 8 touchdown passes on the season and only 1 interception. Second-rated passer in the AFC behind Vinny Testaverde. First down from the 29. O'Donnell, plenty of time. Underneath, caught by Dillon at the 35. And he's wrapped up by Lance Johnstone. So Corey Dillon last week, 124 yards rushing against Tennessee on 14 carries behind this line. Rich Braham playing with a tender knee along with Sargent, Grills, Blackman, and Willie Anderson. And the backs and receivers, Carl Pickens leads the NFL in receptions with 40. He's also averaging 96 yards per game. Second down, 4 yards to go from the 35. And this time, Brandon Bennett, who got some action last week in place of Corey Dillon with the carry. Anthony Newman with first contact. Defensively for the Raiders, they're really strong up the middle. Russell Maryland, Darrell Russell, Lance Johnstone, James Harris. The ends, they both come out of Temple University. And the linebackers, Greg Biekert, more aggressive this season, also playing on third down. And their secondary, they're so good, they're scary. Eric Allen, Charles Woodson, Newman, and Albert Lewis replaces Eric Turner out with a right foot injury. Third down and 1 from the 38. Nowhere to go this time for Brandon Bennett. Russell Maryland leading the way. The former Outland Trophy winner out of Miami.
The inside of the Raiders defensive line, Russell Maryland, Darrell Russell just penetrate, push the offensive lineman back into the backfield, cut off all the options on that running play.
We'd like to welcome those of you to Oakland. And a fumble on the punt. Desmond Howard lost the football and he turns it over. The Bengals get it at the 21-yard line. A 44-yard punt by Lee Johnson. James Hunden recovering.
If there's one thing a team that's struggling would love to have, it's a turnover, but now it looks like they're going to bring this back with a flag. It's a huge break for the Oakland Raiders.
Illegal formation, 6 men in the line of scrimmage. Number 91 was not up in the line. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Gus, that's inexcusable on a special teams. You'll watch here, they have to have 6 guys on the line of scrimmage, and they start to bow like this because it makes the protection a little easier. But when they do that, they run the risk of having too many men in the backfield, and that's what happened on that play.
And Bruce Coslett is upset. And so is Al Roberts, the special teams coach. So instead of having the football at the 20-yard line, Lee Johnson fakes And another flag on the play.
Illegal procedure. I think that the center on that started to drag the ball back instead of snapping it cleanly.
Prior to the snap, false start, an illegal snap on the center, another 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
I told you, my man. You sometimes, do I wow you when I call up those things on?
No question about it. Steve Bush is replacing Greg Truitt, the normal snapper, but he's out of this game because of injury.
He began to snap the ball and then just had second thoughts about whether it was actually time to snap it. They had an extra signal or something to spit out, and he got caught in mid-snap and had to double clutch it.
So now Lee Johnson at the 11. Left-footed punter gets away a beauty. High wobbly kick, angled to the far side, out of bounds. And the referee spots the football. He continues to walk all the way up to the 29. A 55-yard punt by Johnson.
You need to get right there. Excuse me.
11 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. No score from Oakland. Gruden officially charged with driving under the influence this week. The incident took place after their win over San Diego 2 weeks ago. He addressed the team, apologized to the players, the organization, and the fans, and said that it was a learning experience and they'll grow and move on from it. On first down, Tim Brown with the catch. He comes into this game needing 70 yards to become the all-time leader in Raiders history.
This is a great pass route for a quarterback. He comes in and just stands in the open area. The Cincinnati Bengals are in a zone coverage. He goes to the area of the field where nobody's guarding or nobody's standing and just finds the open area, and it's an easy pass for Donald Hollis to complete.
Gain of 9. Second down and short for the Raiders. Draw play, Napoleon Kaufman trying to get outside and does. Down the sideline, and Kaufman tiptoes out of bounds at the 43. Takeo Spikes there to push him out of bounds, but he gained 17.
Whenever you've got a back in the backfield like Napoleon Kaufman, once he gets the football, everybody's fair game. He's got the whole field to choose from. You can't lose contain. He's not very big, and the one thing he brings to the field is just great speed, his ability to find a crack, and in that case, outrun the pursuit and the contain man for a great gain.
5'9", 185 pounds, out of Washington in his 4th season. First down from the 44. Hollis steps up. Now he wants to run. And that's what he can do. Hollis slides down inside the 40.
That's all really you need to do with Donald Hollis. Just let him run when he has to. That's a great play on first down. Now it's 2nd and 5. That's exactly where you want to be as an offense.
Donald Hollis, he is a traveling man. 4 years with Cincinnati. Spent time with the Oilers, the Redskins, and a number of other teams. Also tried out for arena football. Napoleon Kaufman gets to the 35-yard line, tackled by Clyde Simmons. So Donald Hollis, a very good athlete, though. When he played at Rice, his first 2 seasons there, he was a safety, and then they converted him to quarterback.
Exactly. You don't put guys in the defensive backfield because they're not great athletes. Those guys are the best athletes on the field, and when you got a guy back there that you want to get on the field, when you move him to quarterback, that really says something about what he brings to the position. You saw it on his scramble for 5 yards. If he can be patient and pick his spots, he's going to be more effective.
Threw for 1,800 yards his senior year at Rice, and the Raiders running the football. Once again, Kaufman tackled by Wilson, but he picks up 6 and a first down.
When we talked to Kimo von Oelhoffen, number 67, he said that the Raiders offensive line is a bunch of guys that kind of grab and position block and let Napoleon Kaufman find a crease. That's exactly what happened on that play. The offensive linemen come off, get between themselves and the ball carrier. Napoleon Kaufman just finds the crack.
First down, Kaufman again breaks it back and finds another little crease. Gets close to the 25-yard line. A 5-yard gain.
This offensive line for the Raiders is a big bunch of guys. They are what you might call a finesse guys, because they don't come off, fire off, and just push guys around. They try to get you. They grab on. They try and turn you away from the play, a position block. And the defensive line for Cincinnati feels like it may work to their advantage because they move laterally extremely well.
2nd and 5. Kaufman again over the right side. And he gets inside the 20. And some good blocking. James Francis with the tackle. But he ran over that right side of Lincoln Kennedy, and Derek Graham a gain of 8.
When you've got a quarterback that's struggling, the best way to get him on track is to have a guy like Napoleon Kaufman open up the game like this. This is going to take a lot of pressure off the pass protection and the wide receivers. Napoleon Kaufman, whose durability is a question, but yet he acknowledges the fact that he's not that big. But, you know, he's had some of his best games, he said, when he feels less than 100% physically.
7 carries, 49 yards for Kaufman. Now Hollis changing the play at the line of scrimmage, looking for the fade in the corner, incomplete. Intended for James Jett, the former Olympic gold medalist in '92, and he was covered by the rookie Artrell Hawkins.
Artrell Hawkins has got to stand up against James Jett and say, man, this is the NFL. You got a gold medalist in track trying to cover him on a one-on-one route. That's what the Raiders give you. The just overall team speed is so superb.
Current drive, 8 plays, 53 yards. They give it to Kaufman, who's bumped in the backfield and maybe gets 2 yards on the play. Ricky Dudley trying to make a block for Kaufman.
You'll see here is Ricky Dudley trying to make a block for Kaufman as he tries to get position, push the defender away from the play. As we said before, Napoleon Kaufman ends up running into the back end of his own guy, trying to get out of the hole.
3rd down, 9 yards to go from the 18. Hollis steps up in the pocket. He's got a blocker in front of him, and good speed. Hollis gets to the 10-yard line. They're spotting it right at the 10, an 8-yard gain, and they needed to get to the 9 for a 1st down. Ashley Ambrose and Takeo Spikes on the tackle.
He's trying to get the 1st down. You'll see here Napoleon Kaufman's right there. Napoleon needs to turn up and try and get a block, but Hollis runs right by him. Had they been screaming at each other and communicating at all, they might have been able to find Napoleon might have been able to help him a little more than he did when Hollis ran ahead of him.
Brings on Greg Davis to attempt a 28-yard field goal. And it's up. And he missed it. 8 of 11 on the season. He was 1 of 1 from that distance. We're scoreless. Famous author Jack London in the East Bay here in Oakland. Call of the Wild. I know you read that in high school.
Yeah. In between Shakespeare, I believe.
1st down and 10 from the 20 for the Bengals. And Dillon over the right side. He may have gotten a yard. Now tomorrow on CBS, kick off a night of comedy with Cosby. Then Kevin James and Jerry Stiller star in the funniest new show of the year, The King of Queens, followed by 2 back-to-back episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond, Monday night's #1 comedy. Then the highest rated new drama of the season, LA Doctors, Monday, right here on CBS. 2nd down and 10 from the 20. O'Donnell near side, broken up. Eric Allen acquired in a trade with New Orleans. He is a 6-time Pro Bowler.
He showed you exactly why. That was absolutely perfect. He defended that pass perfectly to Darnay Scott. Didn't even touch Darnay Scott as he comes out and runs a simple hook pattern. He'll just run right at it. Darnay Scott, number 86, will just stop, turn in. Eric Allen's right there. Great play.
3rd down and 10 from the 20. O'Donnell under pressure, gets away and goes down. Darrell Russell, the 2nd-year man out of Southern California, with a little shimmy shake there. And Cincinnati has to punt it away.
O'Donnell had nowhere to throw this football, and you see inside Russell Maryland, Darrell Russell are a huge pair of tackles that really force and collapse the pocket around O'Donnell as he steps forward. There's just nowhere to go.
Darrell Russell replaced Chester McLaughlin, who left to go to Kansas City. McLaughlin, a 4-time Pro Bowler. And they feel that this guy could eventually be the most valued defensive player in the NFL. Flags on the play again, and a procedure call against the Bengals.
Prior to the snap, illegal snap on the center, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Steve Bush is really struggling trying to get the football back to Lee Johnson, and because of that, the entire offense is the punt team is out of whack, and you can see that the Raiders are really bringing some heat. They're trying to block these kicks. It's 4th and 25. They're really not risking anything as long as they don't rough the punter. They can go after him, and they're going to get good field position anyway.
Now Lee Johnson, 7 yards in his own end zone. And another flag.
The fans at the back of the end zone are really a factor in this situation.
Prior to the snap, neutral zone infraction on the nose guard, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Some interesting characters in the end zone.
Let me tell you,
Lee Johnson.
Gus, it's late October and we're in Oakland at a Raider game. You don't think there's some costumes out here today?
Man, it's fun to watch these guys. Johnson, low wobbly kick. Desmond Howard gets away from it, and the ball goes out of bounds at the 45. 4 minutes, 52 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. Raiders, good field position after this.
Steve Bush for the Cincinnati Bengals, who struggled early. Watch, and as it goes, it never gets any better for snappers. If they have one bad snap, there's blood in the water, and this snap goes off this way. That's all because of the pressure that the Raiders have caused. They know that Steve Bush is struggling as a long snapper, and they're going to make it even worse on him.
Greg Truitt, their normal snapper, out of the lineup because of a back and neck injury. On first down, Hollis looking for Tim Brown, and it's incomplete. So this last drive for this Raiders team, they went 11 plays, didn't get any points out of it. However, they did have a sustained drive, and over the last 3 years, Gruden gave us an interesting statistic. They've only had 4 10-play drives.
That's really what you want. They really did one good thing that everybody talks about. They've established a running game, and here you see it with Napoleon Kaufman.
Kaufman down to the 40, stopped by Takeo Spikes. Now next Saturday on NASDAQ College Football, double threat, Champ Bailey, the Georgia Bulldogs, against Doug Johnson and the Florida Gators in a classic SEC bash. It all starts with Tim Brando, Craig James, and Lou Holtz on College Football Today, live at 3 Eastern. 3rd down and 3 from the 40. They need to get to the 37 for a first down. Terry Mickens in motion. Hollis in trouble, stays on his feet, goes down. Flags all over the place. Clyde Simmons rushing the passer. Had 8.5 sacks last year playing for Jacksonville. And it's holding against the Raiders. Clyde Simmons, one of the best of all time when it comes to rushing the passer.
Watch the strength. He comes in and just gets really a half a hand on Hollis and pulls the jersey.
Offense. That penalty is declined. He's out of the play, 4th down.
3rd sack of the season for Clyde Simmons. Made his name playing with that great Eagle defense. Buddy Ryan was leading the way.
He was brought in because he's one of the few guys on this Cincinnati team that has won at this level.
Aragus to Gibson at the 10. Gibson stutter steps, loses it. Loose ball recovered by Oakland. Looks like he pulled it out. And is recovered by Mike Morton.
You can't teach it any better than that. Greg Beaker just went in, reached into the basket of Damon Gibson and just pulled out the football. And you saw it flop, and it would look like a kickoff popping out of there. Watch as he just reaches down and pulls it out. That's exactly how you teach it, and that's the kind of thing that the Raiders defense is known for. And you see there, the leader of their defense playing special teams, making the big play.
Loose ball, black jerseys all over it, and the Raiders with the football. First down and 10 from the 20. Napoleon Kaufman pops it outside now, goes back inside, and gets to the 15. What a great play.
You have to be so aware when you're covering kicks because there's so much traffic and so much velocity. It's not like doing it in traffic, and Beaker just has every opportunity to wrap him up. Just lets his hand go down from his shoulder down to the football, grabs the corner of it, and just spins it out.
He's also the starting middle linebacker. Napoleon Kaufman lowers his head, gets inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Kimo von Oelhoffen in on the stop. And an interesting situation for this Raiders squad. As we spoke to Cincinnati, they felt, Steve, that their defense was in good shape because Cincinnati, they play the 3-4, and the Raiders haven't seen that this season.
And that causes some problems for the offensive linemen and their assignments as they talk to each other in there. Then exactly who's responsible for who, which two of us are responsible for which two of them. A lot of communication, a lot of extra communication that has to go on with the Raiders offensive line. And this 3-4 defense is so flexible because of the different people they can bring. They think that that's going to give them an advantage.
Harvey Williams, Jermaine Williams in the backfield for the Raiders. Cincinnati showing blitz.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Wisniewski again. 3 penalties, 15 yards for the Raiders.
Interesting enough, it was the confusion of the Cincinnati defense trying to get lined up that caused Wisniewski to jump off sides.
Third down and 9. Hollis in the end zone, touchdown. Tim Brown, 19 yards.
Greg Beaker, defenders don't get to score many touchdowns, but you know what? A defender like Greg Beaker can sure set up a great play by his offense, and that's his touchdown as much as it is Tim Brown and Don Hollis.
Greg Davis in to attempt the extra point. It's good. Tim Brown, second touchdown of the season, and that ball was put on the money by Donald Hollis.
Tim Brown coming out working against Archer Hawkins, the rookie, comes up. That's just a simple thin post pattern. He looks up, looked like he expected it early, but it came right on time, and they're going to lead by a touchdown.
Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. And by Acura.
So far, the force is with the Raiders. They lead at 7-0. Donald Hollis hooking up with Tim Brown. Raiders send it away. Tremaine Mack from the 7. Mack with the seam, and he's got one man to beat. Mack wrapped up at the 40. Aragus, the kicker, with the tackle, and it saved a sure 6 points. 53-yard return.
You hate to see your kicker making tackles, but you know what? If he can make them, you kind of give him a sigh of relief. This is right up between the hashes. Tremaine Mack goes right up, a seam beautifully blocked up the middle. The last hope is Leo Aragus, and he makes the tackle.
53-yard return by Tremaine Mack, and the Bengals have the football at the 39. Carl Pickens, Darnay Scott split wide to the far side of the field. Here's Scott in motion. O'Donnell, plenty of time under pressure, and he is dumped. Incomplete pass. Darrell Russell chasing him once again. He picked up his 4th sack of the season on their last series.
You look back to the touchdown, you'll watch as Tim Brown comes off the football. The tight end Ricky Dudley will end up out here with 2 guys on him, and Tim Brown will get back, and there'll be nobody deep.
And Donald Hollis. Draw play. And Corey Dillon still on his feet. Dillon stiff arming to the 35. And he's wrapped up by Anthony Newman. Albert Lewis also in on the play. So Albert Lewis replaces Eric Turner. At one safety spot, Turner injured his right foot against San Diego.
This is the perfect illustration of why Albert Lewis is still playing professional football. He is such a wily veteran. He's seen so much football. He doesn't make mental mistakes, even though he moved to a safety from a corner a year ago.
In his 16th season, 3rd down and 6. Timeout on the field called by Cincinnati. Tomorrow, don't miss this show. The King of Queens is the hands-down, flat-out funniest new comedy of the year with Kevin James, Leah Remini, and Jerry Stiller. They all star in The King of Queens Monday on CBS. And a beautiful day here in Oakland. Things haven't been so beautiful last week for Bruce Coslin and his Bengals, coming off the big win over Pittsburgh the week before at home. He said it was the worst he's ever been beaten.
Yeah, he was the worst loss he's ever been associated with. He really didn't have much to say about that game they played last week.
3rd down, 6. O'Donnell pump fake, far side, incomplete. Charles Woodson standing right there, gets into a little shoving match with Darnay Scott. Woodson, the Heisman Trophy winner out of Michigan. We spoke to Willie Shaw, and he told us that Woodson is one of the best rookies he's ever seen.
He really has. He said he has a real chance to be something special. He's so far ahead mentally and emotionally and in football knowledge ahead of where usual rookies are. He's been very impressed with him, not just because he's a Heisman Trophy winner.
52-yard field goal for Doug Pelfrey. Lee Johnson is his holder. And it is no good. Each team has missed a field goal. Pelfrey on the season, 5 of 7.
Special teams have been such a factor for both teams. The long kickoff return for the Bengals, along with the forced fumble by the Raiders, have given both teams their best opportunity to score. The Raiders were able to capitalize for the touchdown. The Bengals were not.
So Doug Pelfrey, who coming into this game 2 of 3 from 50+ yards, misses the 50-yarder there, and the Raiders get the football. 1st down and 10 from their own 43. Kaufman breaks it back. Kaufman, and he's cut down at the Cincinnati 40-yard line, but a 16-yard gain. Greg Myers somehow got a hand on it.
You'll see here as the surge comes off, he cuts back behind the offensive line, behind the defensive line. The only guy that has a chance is Greg Myers, because Napoleon Kaufman gets into the secondary so fast, he didn't have a chance to react.
Kaufman again, and he picks up 2 yards on the play. CBS Sports Line puts you inside the game. And log on tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time to catch a chat with former Buffalo Bills head coach Marv Levy. Get 24-hour coverage at cbs.sportsline.com. You've heard of Marv Levy before, haven't you?
And then I would know him from
Buffalo.
Exactly.
Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator for Cincinnati, and his defense has allowed Napoleon Kaufman in the first half 13 carries, 83 yards in the first quarter.
He said that he tried absolutely everything last week during the course of that game when they were playing so poorly. It looks as though he's going to try a few new things as well here today.
Into the first quarter, back in a moment. Quarter, Raiders leading at 7-0. A lot for the Raiderettes to cheer about right now. 2nd down and 6. Kaufman again, and he has been shredding this Cincinnati defense, and the referee goes down. Raynard Wilson with the tackle. And we believe that's Bob Boylston, the umpire, on his back.
He got caught in the traffic as Napoleon Kaufman burst through the line. The pursuit and Napoleon all arrived at Bob Boylston at the same moment. You see there as he gets taken down. That's one of the hazards of being an NFL official. But Napoleon, you can see here Napoleon Kaufman is running in space two yards down the field. Look at the hole that he has to run through. And really, I guess if I was Napoleon Kaufman, I'd rather run at the official than Raynard Wilson as well.
And we will be back to Oakland after this.
Gus, if you see at the end of this play as Napoleon Kaufman runs, watch Napoleon's helmet and watch Bob's face catch his helmet right on the left side of his jaw. Bang, right there. And I don't care if you're a prize fighter, you don't get hit like that. That is a hard NFL helmet moving full speed right at your jaw. He had no chance, and he is hurt bad. And you can tell he's okay sitting up and talking, but
a little foggy for him right now.
You can imagine why. That's a major league hit.
What do you think? Do you think the officials should have some kind of headgear on or something?
Well, they do it in the NHL. And the football in the NFL doesn't move like the puck does in hockey, but by the same token, shots like that, I mean, that we had 2 weeks ago, we've had an official hurt in Baltimore in a game that we did. This has happened, and those guys are right down in traffic, especially the umpire in the NFL's configuration of officials. When he's standing down there behind the offensive and defensive line, you've got crossing routes in there, you've got draw plays, you've got linemen pulling out to get linebackers shedding blocks and pursuing. There's all kinds of traffic in there, and those guys sometimes get caught up in there.
When you add to that the speed of this game.
And that's exactly right. I mean,
contact on every play. So
the NFL wants these officials to have as much experience as possible, and that means these guys are mature guys. They're not these young, strong athletes that are used to running around out there.
1st down and 10 from the 29. Kaufman changes directions and takes nothing rather, and makes something out of it. Artrell Hawkins there to push him out of bounds, but what a first half of play it's been for Napoleon Kaufman, who came into this game with 435 yards rushing on 98 carries. He's averaging 4.5 yards per carry. But Kaufman on the day, 14 carries, 91 yards already. Here's Napoleon, makes the first man miss and gets a 1st down.
It's amazing. We sat down with him on Friday and said, you know, Napoleon, how you feeling? And he sat down and said, well, you know, I got a little ankle problem. My groin's bothering me a little, you know. I said, well, are you going to play? He says, oh, yeah, I'm going to play. I'm going to play. He says, at this point of the season, nobody feels good. After about 2 or 3 games, everybody's got these little hurts and aches and pains. And, you know, that's something.
100 yards already, and we have 14 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter.
And as we said earlier, he told us that, you know, I've played like that all my whole career. You always get nicked up. He's always carried the load. When he was at Washington, he had a lot of carries as a collegiate. And then to come out here, you know, it's just something he lives with. His durability has always been questioned because of his size. And yet, the guy's having a huge day today and really has been a franchise kind of player for the Raiders.
Kaufman told us that he's not the kind of man that's going to go to his coach and say, I need the football more. But on the other hand, he said he'd like to see the Raiders get some kind of consistency, run the football, help Donald out, and then that will allow they're running the football to set up other things.
Yeah, he doesn't have to go to his coach and say he wants the football more. All he has to do is run like he's running today, and they'll give him plenty of touches on the football. That's a great statement by a great back about how much he wants to play.
So Neely Dunn, the side judge, is now moved into the umpire slot as he replaces Bob Boylston, who was carted off the field after taking the hit from Napoleon Kaufman.
The NFL mixes these officiating crews up every year, and you talk to Jerry Seaman, head of officiating. He says he wants to make sure that these guys, once they get to this level, get an opportunity to work together in all situations, so that if the playoffs come, they can assemble a crew of top flight guys from each position that have already worked together.
First down for the Raiders. Harvey Williams is the deep back, replacing Kaufman. Jermaine Williams, the up back. Here's Harvey Williams. Williams breaks a tackle and gets inside the 15. And Myron Bell with the tackle. Time of possession in the Raiders' favor. That's because they've been able to run the football.
That is an absolute replay of the game that the Bengals suffered through a week ago.
Second down and 4 from the 13. Kaufman again. The burst of speed down to the 5. Jermaine Williams threw a great block for him. The kid from Houston who spent time last year with Tampa Bay. His first game off the practice squad. Watch the block.
Watch the fullback come out. Jermaine Lewis was on the practice squad this last week, and John Ritchie's out. He's getting his opportunity to play. Jermaine Williams really making the most of it. And this is the kind of thing the Raiders love to see, when they have a guy that comes out, gets his chance to play, to step up and make a block like that. Really helps a back like Napoleon Kaufman.
Cincinnati calls timeout. Napoleon Kaufman, 17 carries, 106 yards. And we still have plenty of time to play in the second quarter. Seven to nothing. Oakland leads Cincinnati, and they are knocking on the door once again. Current drive, 8 plays covering 50 yards. And look at the total yards. Napoleon Kaufman straight ahead, and Kaufman gets close to the goal line. And Dick LeBeau has seen this before. He saw it last week. His team yielding 515 yards in total offense to Tennessee.
Ironically, he told us last week and this week, he thought up until that Tennessee game of a week ago, he thought they were headed in the right direction defensively. But obviously last week was a setback, and things are not looking much better early on in this one.
Second down, goal to goal. In the red zone, the Raiders' numbers. Harvey Williams leans forward, and he's not in. So they pile off. Williams.
They're going to go for it on fourth down. At this close, they've already missed one field goal, and I think at this point, the way their defense is playing and the ineptitude that the Cincinnati offense has showed, they're going to go for it on fourth down, even if they don't get it here.
Third down, goal to go. Williams dives, no way. The Cincinnati beat defense. They stop the Raiders again. Takeo spikes. And we'll see. Fourth down. They did not make it. And young John Gruden has a decision to make. He calls a timeout and wants to talk things over. Second quarter, and John Gruden has elected to go for it. His team fourth down, goal to goal from the 1-inch line.
They were stopped on 2 straight running plays, so that kind of opens things up here.
Remember, Hollis can run. They pitch it. Kaufman looking for a hole. Kaufman banged out of bounds, and they don't get in. So a great stand by the Cincinnati defense. And they'll get the football back.
As you watch here, watch this. They run all the way out to the line. Watch these linebackers run. They're so fast, and that's one of the reasons these guys were drafted. You see Myron Bell out there, James Francis, and watch Dick LeBeau. That's the kind of lift that can pick a football team up.
And LeBeau told us that if the defense does not play steadily, it can get ugly, and that's what he's told his team. A great shift in momentum for them. Play action. O'Donnell down the sidelines. O'Donnell incomplete. Ball intended for Carl Pickens.
That's one way to get out of your own end when you're trapped down.
Eric Allen covering him.
Just get out and throw it down the field. Now he's got Eric Allen to the outside, so throw the ball inside. He does, but he still has to go in, and you see the safety coming over. Albert Lewis just missing on the hit. That's a tough catch to adjust to, looking back into the sun, trying to get back to the inside on a high, long throw from O'Donnell.
O'Donnell, 1 of 5, 6 yards. He's missed his last 4. 2nd and 10. Far side again, incomplete, and a flag has been thrown. Eric Allen covering Carl Pickens. And this may be pass interference.
One of the reasons you want to throw deep in today's game, in today's football game, is you may get...
Holding, number 21, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
There's only good things that can happen, except if you throw an interception is the only bad thing. You can... The way the game is called now in the secondary by the officials, you'll watch here, is that you can get, you see here, that is a hold, and that's going to get called a lot of times. If you throw the ball deep enough, often enough, you may get a 5-yard first down penalty once or twice a quarter.
So the Bengals have breathing room at the 10. Dillon. And Dillon swarmed under. Flags on the play. Eric Allen first to greet him. And it's against the Raiders. Offsides.
Somebody must have lined up in the neutral zone off before the snap.
Offsides, number 51, defense. Lined up in the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Lance Johnstone, the right end, lining up offsides. 5th penalty against the Raiders for 25 yards. First down and short from the 15 for Cincinnati. O'Donnell underneath, caught by Dillon. Dillon needed to get to the 21.5 for a first down. Wrapped up by Richard Harvey, the former New Orleans Saint. Now it's Ted Danson like you've never seen him before. He's back as a not so political 3 yards to go from the 17. Corey Dillon, flag on the play. Dillon outside, picks up the first down. But you got to see what they're going to call here. 11-yard gain. Offsides again on the Raiders.
I think once again they were lined up in the neutral zone.
Offsides, number 56 on the defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Pat Swilling, the 12-year man out of Georgia Tech, playing on his birthday today. 34, I believe. 34 years old for Pat. Sat out of football last season. Longtime New Orleans Saint. First down and 10 from the 28. O'Donnell, quick fire, caught. Damon Gibson almost had his head taken off. At the 35, Darrell Russell with the tackle. Flags everywhere.
Now he knows what he did, and he's disgusted with himself. That was a mistake on his part. It's a good tackle, but he grabbed the handle, which is the face mask. Watch. Wow. As we saw earlier there with the umpire taking his shot, anytime they go between the hashes, you take your life in your own hands. Darrell Russell.
Personal foul, face mask, number 96 on the defense. It'll be a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
And you can see by his reaction that he really didn't mean to do it. It's just reaction. When he comes in, you'll see him reach up, just trying to stop the guy, and that's He really, you know, I think
the play looked worse, than it actually was.
I don't think the intent was there. I mean, it was a pretty vicious hit and a kind of a sick thing to happen when you get your hand up around the face mask, but I don't think the intent was there.
Usually, they give you the 5-yarder if you grab the mask and let it go. But if you grab it and hold on, you get the 15-yard penalty. First down and 10 from midfield. Play action. O'Donnell sets up deep in the pocket, near side, caught, and it's caught by his tight end, Tony McGee, who was kicked out of the game last week for incidental contact with an official. Charles Woodson with the tackle. Now coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report, Jim Nance, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, and George Seifert will have all the scores and highlights. That's coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report. Best drive of the day so far for the Bengals. They've been given help, though, by this Raiders team. Penalties. 2nd and 3 from the 43. Corey Dillon flags again on the play.
Pat Swilling lined up in the neutral zone again.
And it's against the Raiders, as you mentioned. Now, after a while, you have to be very conscious of where you're lining up.
You really do, and I think he's trying to cut it so fine that when the center, when Derek Burrows comes up to address the ball for the Bengals.
Offside, number 56 on the defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Derek Burrows will come up, and the center will come up and grab it. You see right here, his hand is past the line of scrimmage. Is just past the football, and they'll call that every time.
Now, yesterday, when we spoke with the Raiders, they told us about this Cincinnati team and their tackles lining up almost in the backfield.
That may have something to do with the fact that he feels like he's too far away from the tackle. Doesn't feel natural.
First down and 10 from the 37. Play action again. Quick strike. This time, it's Darnay Scott with the catch, tripped up by Charles Woodson.
The Bengals are starting to use some bootlegs, trying to move Neil O'Donnell out of the pocket, trying to let the Raiders over pursue and go to the side of the run fake, and then come back and hit the easy pass for a short pass, maybe get a long run afterwards.
This Raiders defense, 2nd in the AFC in total defense, 3rd in the National Football League. They were at the bottom of the league 1 season ago. Dillon, big opening. And now the Bengals starting to find some success running the football as Dillon gets to the 25, 7-yard gain.
One of the things we talked about is the tackles line up a little bit further off. Now these tackles, watch Willie Anderson right here at the end of the line of scrimmage. He's back. His head, the line of scrimmage is up here. His head must be past the belt of the center.
Now it is. On a running play, Dillon, far side. And Dillon steps out of bounds at the 19. And Corey Dillon, he has been smoking the last few games. Only 1 year of college football, Division I at Washington. O'Donnell, all day in the pocket. Away, caught by Dillon, touchdown, Cincinnati, 17 yards.
17 yards and the touchdown, Bengals.
The first smile of the day on the face of Bruce Coslett.
You go back all the way to the other end of the field to the 4th down conversion that the Raiders couldn't get, and it turns into a touchdown for Cincinnati after a few penalties. You see here Neil O'Donnell all kinds of time, takes his time, gets the defense going to the left, and then scrambles right and hits Corey Dillon for the touchdown.
Doug Pelfrey in to attempt the extra point, and it's good.
The extra point is good.
6 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in the second quarter, tied at 7.
CBS is sponsored by Hertz. For business, for pleasure, nobody does it exactly like Hertz. And
For the touchdown.
Desmond Howard from the 5. And Howard goes down hard. Tremaine Mack with the special teams tackle. And Gus Johnson.
Yard drive that's going to really hurt them for emotion concerning this game and how they play the rest of the way.
Out of the backfield, ball caught Kaufman. He is dangerous receiving as well, up to the 36. Napoleon Kaufman having a spectacular game. And the last drive for the Bengals, 10 plays, 95 yards, 17-yard touchdown from O'Donnell to Dillon. The longest drive of the season this season. The longest drive of the season, rather, for Cincinnati. Kaufman again. Tackled by Spikes.
All those plays that we talked about for Cincinnati.
Hollis. Underneath, caught by Tim Brown. Brown still on his feet, and a shoestring tackle at the 40-yard line. If not, that's a touchdown. Artrell Hawkins, the rookie, a gain of 24.
Just a quick pass. Watch Tim Brown work hard inside of Artrell Hawkins, expects the ball right away, and then he shrugs off the tackle, and Myron Bell has to make the saving tackle at the safety. That's just a quick pass, and they hope for a long run, and Tim Brown's got the ability to do that.
Harvey Williams, and he is wrapped up by Kimo von Oelhoffen. Halloween's just around the corner. And tomorrow night, you're in for a special treat with a monstrously funny, all-new... Right now, everybody loves Kaufman. Hollis stepping up, delivers, caught, James Jett, touchdown! 39 yards. And this Donald Hollis has come to play football today. Second touchdown pass for Donald Hollis. First he caught Tim Brown wide open. Now James Jett. And the extra point is good. They booed him last week here in Oakland. It got so bad his wife had to get up and leave and go back to the players' family area. Different story, though, today.
Watch as he drops back into the pocket, feels a little pressure, moves up and has thoughts about running it, then sees James Jett going to the post. Watch here as he runs. He thinks about running. Oh, wait a minute. I see him. James Jett getting open on the post route, almost an identical route to the touchdown that he had a week ago, 2 weeks ago, against the San Diego Chargers to win that football game.
Jeff George out with a groin tear. Tremaine Mack, and he takes a knee. Next Saturday begins with Jim Nance, Brent Jones, George C. Bengals down 14-7. Milne, the motion man. O'Donnell caught by Pickens at the 40. A 19-yard gain for Carl Pickens. 40. Pickens on the hitch, and he is wrapped up immediately. Eric Allen did not bite at all. Second and 8. The fade up top, and it's broken up by Allen again. Intended for Pickens. Eric Allen, he says, not on my side.
He's given a little clinic in the last couple of plays of how to play cornerback in the NFL. Watch how he leaps up, doesn't touch Pickens at all, just knocks it away. If he was any better, you'd think he was going to tip it to Carl Lewis. I mean, to Albert Lewis there.
Not Carl. I don't think Carl was playing.
He's guarding Carl Pickens, tipping it to Albert Lewis.
Third down, 8 yards to go from the 42. They're 0 for 3 on third down conversions. And it's dropped, but a flag. James Hunden, the intended receiver. Defensively, Charles Woodson for the Raiders. Cincinnati says it's against Oakland.
Say, well, if we can't do it against Eric Allen, maybe we'll try the rookie.
Pass interference, number 24 on the defense.
Backs.
7 penalties, 49 yards against the Raiders. First down and 10 at midfield for the Bengals. Corey Dillon tripped up in the backfield by Beaker. Here's a man that is now playing on third downs. He's their leader in the middle, and they said that they wanted him to play with more emotion, and he has.
They really wanted him to will find someone who can, and he has stepped up to the challenge this year.
Second down, 12 yards to go. O'Donnell all day to throw, and he fumbles. Ball picked up. Johnstone sprinting towards the end zone. Touchdown. 40 yards. Darrell Russell got him again. No flags on the play. It happened last week against Cincinnati. Neil O'Donnell sacked, lost the ball. Joe Bowden picked it up and sprinted into the end zone for a touchdown for Tennessee. And the extra point is good. Johnstone with the 40-yard return.
Neil O'Donnell's looking, has nowhere to throw the football, had all day. Darrell Russell comes in finally from behind and hits him and knocks the ball loose. Lance Johnstone running to the end zone, and they go up by 2 touchdowns.
And this one kicked out of the end zone. Leo Aragus with the 40-yard touchdown. 2-minute warning coming up after this play. O'Donnell underneath, and it's broken up again by Allen. Eric Allen has blanketed Carl Pickens, and we've reached the 2-minute warning with the score. The Raiders lead the Bengals 21-7.
Defense, and he has turned them around, and they are dominating this football game.
O'Donnell. And it's caught. Darnay Scott, what a sensational grab as he stretched out and hauls it in. O'Donnell again on first down underneath. Eric Bieniemy with the catch. Gets to the 41, making the 42. Beaker with the tackle. Second down and 1 though. Neil O'Donnell and the Bengals very focused. O'Donnell in trouble and he's sacked. Richard Harvey, who's been given new life here in Oakland after coming over from New Orleans. Third down and a long 8 for the Bengals. O'Donnell out of the shotgun, and he looks for Bieniemy, incomplete, but he had a man in his face, Pat Swilling.
Themselves an opportunity for a field goal before half.
I talked to Desmond Howard in practice. He said that this week they're going to run one back. Let's see. Howard from the 27. Outside, flags on the play. James Jett to the near side. Out of the I formation for Oakland. Harvey Williams running straight ahead over the 20. Up to the 24.
The Raiders have.
And Donald Hollis takes a knee. A great first half for Donald Hollis and also Napoleon Kaufman. Hollis 5 of 8, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So the journeyman quarterback having the game of his career. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Raiders lead the Bengals 21-7.
Off the turnovers is really the difference in the football game.
Coming into this game, Cincinnati had turned the ball over only twice. 1 fumble and 1 interception by Neil O'Donnell. They have 2 turnovers in the first half of play here.
And both of them led to a touchdown, which really, if you're looking at the big scheme of things, even if you punt the football away, you give your team a better chance to win, even if than you do turning the ball over, and that has been the difference for Cincinnati.
So the Bengals ready to receive to begin the second half. Aragus kicking off from the 30. And Tremaine Mack back deep at the 5. Short kick from the 10. Mack. And he is leveled at the 25. A 17-yard return, but what a great special teams tackle by Louis Riddick, a backup safety. Some of the hits and turnovers in the first half. Beekert with the strip, and the Raiders took over.
Right here, this is the play where Donald Hollis hits James Jett after starting to scramble. That's the second touchdown of the day that gave them the 14-point lead.
First down and 10 from the 26. O'Donnell throws a strike. Tony McGee with the catch. He gets up to the 45-yard line. Albert Lewis with the tackle. A 17-yard gain for McGee.
Unlike in past years, Tony McGee has not caught very many footballs this year. I talked to Kenny Anderson, and he said he thought Tony McGee would probably start to catch a few more footballs as the defenses stretched to take away Darnay Scott and Carl Pickens.
Coming into this game, McGee had not had a catch in 3 of the last 4 games. Dillon and Corey Dillon up to the 45, make it the 46-yard line. Russell Maryland in on the play. Corey Dillon, really just a bruising back, 6'1", 225 pounds. Took over for Kijana Carter. Carter out of the lineup this season because of a broken wrist, but he had taken the job from him last year anyway. 2nd and 7. Dillon again cuts it back. Nowhere to go. Richard Harvey with pressure.
Well, Richard Harvey got credit for the tackle, but Russell Maryland just blew that play up. He was in the backfield right in Corey Dillon's face. He had nowhere to go. Once he hesitated in the backfield, the pursuit was able to catch up, and Richard Harvey was able to make the tackle.
Darnay Scott to the far side. Pickens to the near side. 4-receiver package. Hunden and Gibson. They're 0 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. Gibson, and he is close to the first down. Needed to get to the 47. Anthony Newman and Marquise Walker with the tackle.
You'll see here, watch here, Walker's here. Watch it, Newman come in and hit his own guy, whack. So many times you see defenders get hit by their own guys.
So Lee Johnson in the punt. His 4th punt of the day. High spiraling kick. Desmond Howard gets away from it, and it trickles into the end zone. 12 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Raiders on offense right after this. 4 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Raiders up 21-14. Kaufman, no hole for him at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down. Timo von Oelhoffen in on the play. Al Davis, the principal owner and president of the general partner. Not only has he built a great franchise, but he's also opened up a lot of doors. The first owner to hire a Hispanic head coach in Tom Flores. The first owner to hire a black head coach in Art Shell. He's put a woman in an executive's position in Amy Trask. So Al Davis has done a lot to give opportunities in the National Football League.
And really going into the Hall of Fame just a few years ago in 1992 says a lot about what he's meant to the National Football League. Known as a maverick, and some people don't like his method of doing things, but you know what? He gets the job done, and his #1 priority is football. And not every owner in the National Football League can say that.
3rd down and 11 from the 19. Hollis on the slant intended for Tim Brown, but it's broken up. Thomas Randolph, the former New York Giant, with the play on defense.
The crowd boos a little bit, but Thomas Randolph plays this perfectly. Tim Brown tried to draw the penalty with the right arm, pulling him and spinning him around, but there was no call, and it was a good one.
Damon Gibson back deep at the 35. Aragus punting from the 4. High wobbly kick. Gibson at the 33. And the former Iowa standout gets to the 37-yard line. 47-yard punt, 5-yard return. 11 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Al Davis's Raiders lead it 21-7. Cincinnati with the football, first down and 10 from their own 36, trailing 21-7. Corey Dillon breaks the tackle, picks up a first down, and scampers down the sidelines to the 49. A 15-yard pickup for Corey Dillon.
As big as he is, Corey Dillon can really open it up and turn the corner. He comes through the middle of the football field. Brian Milne, number 44, gets a great block on Beekert, as you see right there. Gives Dillon the chance to break out to his right and turn the corner for the good gain. Brian Milne, an unsung hero in this offense, number 44, the fullback.
On pace to set the single season record in Cincinnati. O'Donnell, near side, caught by Tony McGee. What a catch, as he had to adjust himself in midair. 11-yard gain for the former University of Michigan Wolverine.
He was in man-to-man coverage with the safety, Anthony Newman, and O'Donnell just lofts the ball just so Newman can't reach it, and Tony McGee gathers it in for the good gain.
McGee once again kicked out of last week's game because of incidental contact with an official. He's got 3 catches today. Ball batted down at the line of scrimmage, intended for Darnay Scott, who was covered by Woodson. Check out the official NFL website, where you can vote to help select the 1999 Pro Bowl team. Plus, log on Monday morning for Week 8 highlights and recaps at www.nfl.com. And Bruce Coslett said his guys had a great week of practice. They don't have any loafers on this team, but they're young. 4 rookies in the lineup at one time on defense alone against Tennessee. Milne wrapped up. That play didn't fool anybody, especially Russell Maryland. A loss of 5.
Defensive coordinator Willie Shaw told us you can't design a defense that will defend the screen, the draw, or the bootleg. You just have to recognize it. And Russell Maryland sees the back release and recognizes it and just plays it. That's just one of the plays that a defensive lineman has to defend with experience, technique, and just hustle. Willie Shaw getting his guys to play hard together, and that's been the difference.
Third down, 15. Out of the backfield, Bieniemy. And he is short. Bieniemy stopped by Albert Lewis. And also Pat Swillingham on the play. Cincinnati forced to bring on the kicker, and they're going to go for 3. So Pelfrey, who missed his first attempt. Ball spotted at the 41.5. 51.5-yard field goal attempt. And it's good. It crept over the bar. 51 yards for Pelfrey. 9:08 to go. Third quarter, 21-10. 51.5-yard field goal, and it's his longest of the season. Last year he had 2 field goals of 50-plus yards. And the Bengals now trail it 21-10. That's got to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good thing to get under, especially after he missed the 53-yarder. He hit that, and that ball looked like it did the Fosbury flop over the crossbar. It looked like a high jumper just barely skimming over, but it got it.
Line drive kick. Desmond Howard at the 4. Desmond Howard over the 25. 24-yard return. Next Saturday, beginning at 2 Eastern. The CBS Sports victory. Raiders with the football. First down and 10 from the 28. Napoleon Kaufman up to the 30. Kaufman with a great first half, 100 yards rushing. The little man out of Washington.
We're starting to run this half.
Napoleon the fourth is no, he's the third.
He's the third.
And his son,
That's
newborn,
right.
is the fourth.
Becoming a long, prestigious line of Napoleon Kaufman's. Beginning to run now. The last play was out of one back. Now they go to two backs. Different personnel combinations for the Raiders here.
They set up the screen, incomplete, intended for Harvey Williams. Good pressure by that Cincinnati defensive line. And some scores from around the NFL. New Orleans beating Tampa Bay. San Francisco, 16 straight victories over the Rams. And now they finally even up the all-time series.
That's been, you got to think, wow, what happened in those early years that the 49ers are finally breaking even.
Third down and 8 from the 30. Hollis shedding off tacklers, looking for the first down, but he's short. Needed to get to the 38-yard line. Clyde Simmons caught him from behind, and the Raiders forced to punt it away.
Donald Hollis become just a little bit more conservative in the second half. He knows he's got a 2-touchdown lead. Didn't try to make anything happen. Just get back, get some yardage for his punt team, and get off the football field and let the defense take over.
Fourth punt for Leo Aragus. Damon Gibson back deep. Aragus really earning his money last week, or 2 weeks ago, against San Diego when he punted 16 times. Damon Gibson, the fair catch at the 32. And with 7:37 remaining in the third quarter, 21-10.
Sometimes when you're on the sidelines of an NFL football game, you just get tight. It's become very in vogue to put these stationary bikes to let guys keep warm while they stand around watching the other guys play football.
Empty backfield for the Bengals. O'Donnell forces it in, and it's incomplete. Intended again for Tony McGee. Beekert with the coverage for the Raiders. Denver leads Jacksonville 27-10. Denver kicker Jason Elam has nailed a 63-yard field goal that ties the all-time record set by Tom Dempsey in 1970 when he played for New Orleans against Detroit.
I need to adjust for altitude on that 63-yarder.
Oh, come on. Dillon running outside, and that play goes nowhere. Eric Allen. Saturday on NASDAQ College Football, Quincy Carter and two-way star Florida, a classic SEC battle next Saturday on CBS. How about Terry Bowden stepping down at Auburn?
That's amazing. How those young men are going to handle that is going to say a lot about the kind of guys he recruited.
O'Donnell down the sidelines, broken up. Charles Woodson. That's a Heisman Trophy performance.
John Gruden has said that drafting Charles Woodson is like hitting a hole-in-one on the first hole. The guy is a phenomenal athlete, and you know, these two cornerbacks for the Raiders alone have really dominated this football game. It's been 9-on-9 inside, and they've played extremely well outside.
Shades of Lester Hayes, Willie Brown. Those guys could play pretty well also. Desmond Howard all the way back to the 10. He's got a lane. Howard. And Desmond goes down at the 37. Flags on the play. The former Super Bowl MVP while with Green Bay, Super Bowl 31.
Holding number 44 of the receiving team. During the run back, 10-yard penalty. First down, timeout.
Jermaine Williams holding. There's a little shimmy shake by Charles Woodson. They lead 21-10. The Bengals offense on the sidelines there. They're a little concerned. Raiders with the football again at their own 15. The pitch. Kaufman. Michael Bankston got it first. John Gruden, as we told you, youngest head coach in the National Football League. Take a look around professional sports and the youngest professional head coaches. Jeff Van Gundy with the Knicks, 36. Gary Francona, 35. Paul Maurice with Carolina Hurricanes, 31. And he looks 35.
He looks younger.
Hollis steps up again and runs. Donald Hollis, the former safety at Rice, gets over the 25. A gain of 14. Flags on the play. Myron Bell with the tackle, and this goes against Cincinnati.
Personal foul, late hit, number 55, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Raynard Wilson came in late on the tackle after it was a late flag, and that's going to cost him a lot of yardage. You'll see here as Hollis goes down, Raynard Wilson running right behind him, bang. Jumps right on his back. Got the helmet going sideways there. You know, he's got that helmet turned sideways out of that. Oh, that hurts.
Donald Hollis, one of the few quarterbacks in the NFL with braces. Maybe Brett Favre made that.
He may be wearing a neck brace tomorrow for the team that braces on his teeth.
First down and 10 from the 43. Hollis out of the backfield. Kaufman can't hold on.
That ball came right out of the sun, right at Napoleon Kaufman, and he look at him. I lost it. I couldn't see it. The ball came right out of the sun, and he was running away from the quarterback, coming right at him. You'll see here as he looks back. Watch where the shadow of the football comes down right above his head. The shadow of the ball is right on the shadow of his head. It's coming right out of the sun. Look at him. Come on.
This is also the home field of the Oakland A's, and that was about short center field, I believe, where Napoleon tried to catch that ball. Play action, Hollis, bootleg, looking for the first down, and gets it. Donald Hollis gets it. 12-yard gain, gaining ground in New York, Jim Nance.
All right, Gus, we were talking about it as we were exiting halftime. It happened, and here it is. Jason Elam of the Broncos, 63 yards out, ties Tom Dempsey's record of 28 years ago, tying the longest field goal in NFL history. Back to you.
Thanks, Jim. And it looked like on the replay he had about maybe 5 or 6 more yards in that sucker.
That was a good. Wow. I take that back what I said about the altitude.
First down at 10 for the Raiders. Play action, Hollis looking down the sidelines for Jett, and it's incomplete. James Jett had at least 2 steps on Ashley Ambrose, but Hollis threw it short.
That was a bad throw by Donald Hollis. You'll see here it just comes up short. He's got to get this ball out there. James Jett is open. And the ball's wobbling a little bit. You see both receiver and defender couldn't get there. He's got to get Aaron. Let James. He should throw that football almost all the way down to the goal line. Just let James Jett run down there and catch it.
James Jett won a timeout. Cincinnati. James Jett won a gold medal as part of the 4x400 meter relay team at the '92 Olympics. And at the Olympic trials, he placed 5th. You know some of the runners that the United States had back then, Carl Lewis and company. So he can float. There's never been a better time to watch the highest rated new drama of the season.
He runs so quiet. He's running so fast, and yet you can't hear him run. His feet, you can't hear his feet touch the ground. He glides. He's one of those guys that when you see run, you know that you wish he looked like that.
Yeah, he can move. And he doesn't even need a nickname, James the Jet.
He's got to be
perfect.
Fast. Doesn't even name like Jet.
So Jett lines up in the slot on the far side of the field. Hollis under pressure, and he's sacked at midfield. Donald Hollis swarmed under James Francis and Clyde Simmons combining.
Donald Hollis told us after the 2 weeks ago when he played San Diego, He wanted to play right away. He wanted to get right back in the game. He really wasn't happy the way he played against San Diego. He knew he really knew he was going to get pulled because he was so ineffective, and yet wanted to get right back out there and prove himself, and he's really been doing that today despite the sack that he just took.
3rd down and 14. Hollis again. Over the middle, caught. Terry Mickens with the catch. 1st down, but flags are on the play.
This may go against the offense.
A 30-yard gain for Mickens.
Now Tim Brown says it's going to go against the Bengals.
Pass interference, number 33, defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 1st down.
Ashley Ambrose.
As Terry Mickens comes open over the middle, you'll see right down the hash mark that the defender falls down right at his feet, and that usually means that there was some sort of contact, but in this case, it was incidental. Their feet got tangled. Terry Mickens right down the hash marks, and watch Hollis take this hit at the end of the play. Bang! Clyde Simmons just plants Donald Hollis at the end of that play.
And Hollis calls a timeout. By the way, folks, umpire Bob Boylston has been taken to the hospital with a broken hip. And while we've got a moment, let's check in with Jim Nantz in New York.
How about this, Gus? For the first time this season, San Diego has scored 2 touchdowns in a game. Didn't happen in the first 6, but here, finding 6 is Natron Means. Seattle has just kicked the field goal, though, to take a 3-point lead. And back to you out in Oakland.
All right, Jim. The Raiders saw this San Diego team 2 weeks ago right here in Oakland. San Diego with the football game into the last 2 minutes of the football game, and Wade Wilson went on to throw the touchdown to James Jett, a 68-yarder.
The San Diego defense has played extremely well, and obviously they've had to with the struggles that Ryan Leaf and that offense have gone through this year.
1st down and 10 from the 20. Kaufman skips through the hole and gets to the 15. Napoleon Kaufman continues to run the football, and they have established that run today. 24 carries, 117 yards for Napoleon. And if you compare the two, Corey Dillon, 11 carries, 47 yards. 2nd and 5. Kaufman.
Napoleon Kaufman, the ball carrier.
Anytime you get a running back that carries the ball 25 times a game, that's a big load for a running back, especially a guy that's 5'9", 185 pounds. But he's really, really running hard today and has really been a difference for the Raiders.
Kaufman on the sidelines, replaced by Harvey Williams. He's in the backfield with Tremaine Williams. Hollis sidesteps a man out of the backfield. Harvey Williams lowers his head and gets to the 5. This kid, Donald Hollis, well, I guess you can't call him a kid. He's been in the league. This is his 7th year. He's doing it today.
He is an absolutely completely different player than he was just 2 weeks ago against San Diego. You see here, he comes up, threatens the line of scrimmage, and then just dumps it off to Harvey Williams. And Harvey Williams just gets the 1st down. Now it's 1st and goal, and that was great, patient play by quarterback, making sure that when he gave Harvey Williams the pass, that Harvey had a chance to catch it, gather it, and turn up the football field.
They've been in the red zone twice, rather 3 times, and have come up empty twice. Now they have it 1st and goal from the Cincinnati 6. Napoleon Kaufman skips through the hole and is tackled immediately by Brian Simmons, the rookie out of North Carolina who starts at one linebacker. They've got another rookie, Takeo Spikes, that starts at the other linebacker.
Brian Simmons had a knee injury earlier in the year, and it held him back. He's been back, missed 5 weeks, and now he's been back for about the same amount of time, and is just now coming into his own and starting to play as though the way they thought he would earlier in the year.
And look at the long drive for the Raiders. 12 plays that started on their own 15. Bootleg, Hollis, quick release, and it's incomplete. Intended for Jermaine Williams. And Ashley Ambrose was standing right on top of Williams.
James Francis forced Donald Hollis to throw this football earlier and quicker than he had to throw it, and couldn't put it accurately enough for the reception. James Francis forcing the play on the bootleg, sniffed it out, didn't fall for the run fake at all, and forced the incompletion.
Third down, goal to goal from the 5. Hollis steps up in the pocket, and he goes down.
That's a huge disappointment for the Raiders. They had the football on the 5-yard line, first down, and once again the Bengal defense has turned them away and made them at least settle for the field goal attempt. That keeps the Bengals within 2 scores. Even if this field goal is good, it keeps them within 2 scores, which is crucial at this point in the game.
So Greg Davis in to attempt a 22-yard field goal. Missed a 28-yarder today. This one is good.
The 22-yard attempt is good.
36 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and the Raiders, they go up 24-10. Aragus ready to kick it away. Tremaine Mack standing at the 5. And Mack from the 7. Breaks it outside. Tremaine Mack hauled down from behind. A 16-yard return, but he's tackled by Marquise Walker. Flags on the play. And holding against Cincinnati. And he was down before the ball came out.
Number 35 on the receiving team. During the run back, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Sam Shade.
Al Roberts shaking his head. The penalties on special teams have hurt both of these clubs today. When you get a chance to get field position, and really field position is dictated by your special teams, and penalties will kill it. That's something that this football team cannot afford to do. You'll see here, watch when the football comes out, as his knee comes down, his knee's down, and then the ball comes out late.
The play clock is not working on the field. Bengals have it, 1st and 10 from the 17. Corey Dillon. And look at him run. Corey Dillon breaking tackle after tackle after tackle.
Corey Dillon slashes through the Raider defense. He bounces off and runs through about 3 tackles before he gains a yard. Watch Brian Milne shield off Terry Wooden right there, and it takes about 4 guys jump on his back. That's the kind of physical running that Corey Dillon is so good at.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Raiders lead the Bengals 24-10. Fourth quarter of play. Amy Trask, now in her 12th season with the Raiders, the highest ranking female in the NFL, aside from an owner. And she is the chief executive here in Oakland. Talked to her before the game, and she said, "I never sleep before games."
That's exactly right. These guys, and you talk to her, you talk to Allo Casal, all the people at the Raiders, the first and foremost thing on all of their minds, forget contracts, forget business deals. It's all about football for these people.
Kind of had a Jackie Onassis look there with her all black. It's shades.
That's right.
2nd and 9 from the 29. O'Donnell, and nowhere to go. He goes down once again at the 25. Lance Johnstone. And Terry Wooten 4th sack of the day.
Once again, the cornerbacks blanketing the receivers. Neil O'Donnell has no place to throw this football, and really there was no time either. He had almost no chance to step up in the pocket and look to his secondary receiver before he was on the ground.
3rd down and 13 from the 25. O'Donnell to Milne out of the backfield. And Milne needed to get to the 38 for a 1st down. And he's short. Here comes the punting team.
Gain of 11 yards on the play.
6th punt of the game for Lee Johnson. Desmond Howard gets away from the football, and it is deadened inside the 10. A 57-yard field goal. Amy Trask may be sleeping a little easier this evening. Scoring by quarters, the 2nd quarter, the big one for the Raiders as they lead it 24-10. Gus Johnson along with Steve Tasker and the Raiders, the defense has been carrying them as they look for their 4th straight win. But John Gruden, you can tell he really worked with Donald Hollis this past week.
He really did. The whole team is biding their time until Jeff George can get back into the lineup.
Harvey Williams bounces it outside, and Williams a big gain all the way to the 30.
Great sense of balance by Harvey Williams. You see him bounce off the back of his own man as he comes to the line of scrimmage, gets to the corner. You see him force the defense to honor the inside run and then just pops it outside. Harvey Williams, a guy who played tight end a year ago, is that kind of athlete. They're trying to find a way to get him on the football field.
There's Jeff George. Saw him working out as he has the torn groin muscle. Jeff George, Harvey Williams on the carry again. Let's go to New York and Jim Nance.
All right, Gus, we'll check it out. Jacksonville's not finished yet. Mark Brunell to Damon Jones. Hey, get out of his way, folks. You're not going to stop him. Damon Jones to the end zone, and Jacksonville's down 10, late 3rd. Back to you.
Damon Jones, we remember we saw him catch a touchdown, his 2nd of the year against Tennessee.
Tennessee was
in Nashville. 2nd down and 6.
A lot of weapons on that Jacksonville offense.
Play action, Hollis looking backside, delivers, caught his tight end, Ricky Dudley with the catch inside the 40. He is really dinking it around, spreading it around to everybody.
That was a great throw. Donald Hollis makes the play action, rolls to his right, throws back to his left, and Ricky Dudley is a guy that they would love to get the football to a little bit more. It's like a huge running back. Watch the play action, and Hollis runs out like it's a bootleg, stops short, and finds Ricky Dudley crossing the football field. Ricky Dudley is a great athlete. John Gruden says he's never seen anybody quite like him at the tight end position. Big, strong, athletic runner.
1st and 10. And Harvey Williams gets back to the line of scrimmage. Other scores from around the NFL. Seattle taking the lead over San Diego in the 4th quarter. And the Bears, how about the job Dave Wannstedt has been doing with Chicago this year?
It looks like they've
not a lot of talent on that team.
They have turned it around a little bit. They're playing much better in recent weeks than they did earlier in the season.
2nd down and 10. Hollis out of the backfield. Williams with space. Harvey Williams to the 30. 7-yard gain for Harvey Williams. It's Ted Danson like you've never seen him before. He's back as a not so politically correct doctor who's not afraid to speak his mind. Becker premieres Monday, November 2nd, right here on CBS. Old Sam Malone. Remember him?
Yeah. Big fan of that show.
3rd down and 3. Hollis, fade pattern, he has a man open. He had Tim Brown open, but he overthrew him. And that brings on the field goal team.
Tim Brown got loose right up the sideline, and Hollis knows he just couldn't put it on him. Watch as Tim Brown got 2 steps and just off. A lot of times a receiver will try to tip it to himself, and Hollis knows that's an opportunity lost. Now they've got to try a 48-yard field goal.
Greg Davis, 1 of 2 on the afternoon. Perfect. 48-yarder. 3-score lead for the Raiders. 10:04 to go in the 4th. In the 4th quarter, Donald Hollis, he may have knocked off a brace out there in the back, I'm not sure, but he is feeling no pain as you take a look at his numbers. This young man was out of football for 2 years in 95-96, worked at a consulting firm as an intern. He talked things over with his wife, didn't have football out of his system, and decided to give it another chance. And he is successful today. Last week, pulled out of the game in the 4th quarter, Steve, or rather 2 weeks ago. They were off last week. Pulled out of the game in the 4th quarter, and John Gruden could have gone with Wade Wilson, who ended up winning the game for him, but he decided to stick with Donald Hollis.
That's right. And you know, it's 2 weeks ago, Donald Hollis' wife had to leave the stadium. She couldn't stand the booing that was taking place, and she knew that her husband was taking the brunt of it. She went out and left the stadium and went to a private room for the family. She shouldn't take it. Today, she may be in the front row.
I'm sure she is. First down and 10. From the 20, Jeff Blake in at quarterback for the Bengals. Replacing O'Donnell, and Blake sacked as soon as he walks in the game. Russell, Maryland. The 5th sack of the day for the Raiders.
Well, from this game, there's no reason to bring Jeff Blake in. Neil O'Donnell had no one to throw to. The cornerbacks and the defensive backfield of the Raiders have dominated. Russell, Maryland, Darrell Russell, and the rest of the guys up front are having a field day, putting pressure on a quarterback who has no place to throw the football.
2nd and 18. And it's getting really loud here. Blake sacked again. Once again, he goes down. Lance Johnstone with the play.
Jeff Blake dropping back, and you see here's the pocket. Lance Johnstone puts a tremendous move on Kevin Sargent, the left tackle.
Blake, incomplete.
That series was a statement by the Raider defense telling the Cincinnati offense, guys, we are not letting up today. We're going to go 60 minutes, and you have got your work cut out for you. This defense that Willie Shaw has put on the football field is going to give Cincinnati a hangover.
They have definitely given him a headache already. Johnson, Desmond Howard at the 44. Howard can't get outside and is wrapped up and goes down. Bush with the special teams tackle. Flag on the play, though. Steve Bush with the tackle.
It was a late hit at the tackle as Desmond Howard lunged forward after he went down. I believe it was Billy Granville, number 91 for the Bengals, who hit him late.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the kicking team, number 91. It'll be a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, timeout.
8:39 remaining in the fourth quarter. All Raiders so far. Lead Cincinnati. Raiders with the football at the Cincinnati 43. Kaufman jitterbugging through the hole. He gets close to the 40, and a flag is on the play. Holding against Oakland.
Holding, number 63, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Adam True. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you are watching the NFL on CBS and the game between Cincinnati and Oakland. I'm Gus Johnson along with Steve Tasker, and our score, Cincinnati trails Oakland 27-10. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast and the Pacific time zone. It will be seen at its normal time.
The story here today in Oakland has been the defense for the Raiders. They have stepped up. They've gotten great play from Eric Allen, their cornerback, and Heisman Trophy winner Charles Woodson. They've just absolutely shut down the great wideouts for the Cincinnati Bengals. Neil O'Donnell has had no place to throw the football, and Howe has been replaced by Jeff Blake.
6 sacks by the Oakland defense. They forced 2 turnovers. Charles Woodson, the Heisman Trophy winner out of Michigan. They have 3 Heisman Trophy winners on this team. An Outland Trophy winner in Russell, Maryland. And a 35-year-old head coach. And it's been a big day for Napoleon Kaufman running the football. Kaufman getting the carries, 28 carries, 126 yards for the little guy out of Washington.
Took one series off a moment ago, and Harvey Williams took over to run the football. Now he'll come off, and Harvey Williams will come on again with this 3rd and long situation. But Napoleon Kaufman has carried the load and really early on established that the Raiders could run the football anytime they wanted to, and that put the Cincinnati defense on its heels from the very beginning.
Hollis steps up, down the field, incomplete. Intended for James Jett. Halloween's just around the corner, and tomorrow night you're in for a special treat with a monstrously funny all-new Everybody Loves Raymond, Monday 9, 8 Central, right here on CBS. Aragoose standing at the 38. High spiraling kick, flag on the play, into the end zone. And it could be roughing the kicker. 46-yard punt.
Oh, it's a personal foul. They're going to give him a first down. There are 2 things that can happen. It can rough the kicker, which is only a 5-yard penalty. This is a personal foul. Running into the kicker is a 5-yard.
Foul, roughing the kicker, number 88 on the receiving team. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's automatic first down. It comes. You'll get pressure. The Cincinnati Bengals trying to block this punt. Right here, you'll see the pressure come up the middle, and as he lays out to block the kick, his momentum carries him into Aragoose after the ball is gone, and that's the 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Steve Bush has had a rough day snapping the football. How would you like to be Al Roberts today? Special teams have not played well. Harvey Williams. On the other sideline, though, John Gruden's squad has played extremely well, and Gruden, another descendant from the Bill Walsh School of Coaching. Mike Holmgren is his mentor, coached with Mike in San Francisco as an assistant, also in Green Bay, then went to Philadelphia with Ray Rhodes, another San Francisco Walsh disciple. 2nd and 8 from the 29. Williams again slashing through the defense.
This offense for the Raiders has played extremely solid today. Look at how they struggled 2 weeks ago versus San Diego. Only 18 yards on the ground, and they had to punt 16 times, which is an NFL record. They struggled so badly. They really won the football game on 1 pass completion with less than a minute to go. John Gruden still really adjusting to the fact that he's a head coach, has spent most of his time as a coordinator up above the field in the press box, and really it's a new experience for him this season, being down on the field.
Look at the offense today, though. 380 yards. Harvey Williams. And he's stopped by James Francis. Flags on the play.
James Francis at the tackle.
Illegal shift, 2-man moving and not resetting before the snap, 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
The Bengals having a rough day this afternoon. Watch the next 6 games as we get a look at them. They have to go they host Denver, then they go to Jacksonville, then they go to Minnesota. Those next 3 games, the opponents are 17-1. That is a gauntlet.
Trouble around the bend for Cincinnati. 4th down conversions, 5 of 14. Hollis, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Adrian Ross, rookie from Colorado, backup linebacker with the play.
Adrian Ross coming, you'll see him right there as he'll come up and right in Hollis's face. Hollis tries to release it quickly, but can't get it around the arm. Hollis knowing that exactly what he needed to do.
Davis in to attempt another 48-yarder. And he missed it. So with 4 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter of play, the Raiders lead the Bengals 27-10.
Sponsored by Clarida and by the United States Marine Corps. The change is forever.
Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by Touched by an Angel, the CBS Sunday movie, Beauty. Don't forget, you will see 60 Minutes in its entirety next, except on the West Coast. Jeff Blake over the middle, and it's caught. Darnay Scott with the catch at midfield. 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Cincinnati trying to get something going, almost intercepted. Harvey was close to the football, and he's disappointed with himself.
2nd down. Almost at midfield.
Richard Harvey, 9th year out of Tulane. His father, Richard Sr., was a defensive back for the Saints and also the Eagles.
Hey.
2nd and 10. Jeff Blake scrambling out of the pocket and is dragged down at the sideline. Marquise Walker. Let's go to New York and Jim Nance.
All right, Gus, check it out. Brunell to his other tight end. Earlier we saw him connect with Damon Jones for a touchdown. This time it's Pete Mitchell. We still have 10 minutes on the clock. 34-24, a shootout in Denver. Back to you.
All right, Pete Mitchell. When we talked to the Jacksonville people, they said, what they say, he doesn't have any strength, no speed,
Small, slow,
but can play.
but he
gets
throws him the
open.
ball all the time because he's always open.
All-time leading receiver in Boston College history. And it's Allen lets the fans have that one. A $2,000 fine, but he doesn't care.
Gus, all you can say on an interception like this is, did you see that? He stays with it, just juggles it, keeps it alive, and pulls it in. That is one of the most athletic plays you'll ever see a cornerback make. At a crucial moment, the two cornerbacks for the Raiders have absolutely been unbelievable this entire game, and that is an exclamation point.
I saw Tom Flores in the hallway at halftime, and he said the great thing about Eric Allen, this is Kaufman running the football, Kaufman to the 40. He said the great thing about Eric Allen is he has such a great understanding and feel for the game, and he doesn't guess often, but when he guesses, he's usually right.
He's so intelligent and so smart, and actually he's had a leg up when he came over here because he played for Willie Shaw in New Orleans, so it was less of an adjustment for him at starting corner, knowing Willie Shaw, knowing how he coached. Willie Shaw really getting the most out of these athletes on his defense. Willie Shaw, Eric Allen, and with the athletes that he has, like Eric Allen, when you get the most out of them, it is an unbelievable sight.
Napoleon Kaufman on first down. And when Shaw came here under John Gruden, the great thing that the Raiders organization did was they allowed him to have a great deal of input in the players they chose to sign here on their defensive side of the football.
Well, Willie Shaw told us, he goes, hey, I treat all my players, I don't care if they're making $2 million or minimum wage, they don't take their wallet onto the field with them. I treat them all the same, and they have really responded to his coaching.
And the Raiders staying on the ground. 2:43 to go. That time Harvey Williams running the football. And the cornerbacks for the Raiders, Eric Allen and Charles Woodson, they have shut down Carl Pickens and Darnay Scott. Pickens with 2 catches, Scott with 3 catches. Pickens, remember, comes into this game as the leading receiver in the NFL in terms of catches. Second in yards behind Michael Irvin, who's played 1 more game than he has.
We talked about Al Davis being an innovator, hiring, the first black head coach, the first Hispanic head coach. Some things about the Raiders are innovative. Some things never change. Their defensive backs can play. That cornerback tradition for the Raiders is not going anywhere.
Kaufman running again. He gets up, pumping his fists. 2 minutes to go. 27-10 Oakland. Minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Raiders lead it 27-10. Don't forget, 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety, except for those of you in the Pacific time zone. It will be seen at its normal time. Somebody's son on the sidelines, future Raider.
Everybody loves to win.
Raiders with the football at the Cincinnati 29. Harvey Williams running, wrapped up to Keo Spikes. So the Raiders, their next 6 games at Seattle, at Baltimore, then they're home to face Seattle, on the road again at Denver, and they wrap up the month with Washington and Miami. What's he thinking about right now?
Well, he's thinking about this game, what it means in the big picture. They're going to be 5-2 after this football game, and now he's going to have to start dealing with maybe a little bit of talk about the Raiders should be making the playoffs this year.
4-12 a year ago. Harvey Williams down to the 20. And the Raiders, they have 23 new players on this team.
John Gruden, he's a young head coach, and he says, hey, I'm not George Halas. I'm a young guy. I don't have a problem playing youth. I mean, I'm a young head coach who was given an opportunity. I have no problem giving young players a chance to play on my football team. Luckily, he's got guys like Albert Lewis, who's played for 16 years. Eric Allen, who's a perennial Pro Bowl football player. He's got a lot of veterans to do. Richard Harvey, who's a veteran they picked up. Pat Swilling, he's got a lot of veterans he can lean on as well.
And Harvey Williams on the last play of the football game, and that will do it. Don't forget, 60 minutes next, except on the West Coast. Back to the drawing board for the Bengals. And the hero of the day, Donald Hollis, 2 years out of football. He's looking for Kimberly, his wife, and he just saw her. For Steve Tasker, this is Gus Johnson saying so long from Oakland, where our final score is the Raiders beat the Bengals 27-10.